information. I've never cheated. Only people without abilities would cheat. In fact, Ariana had indeed cheated in a way, because she had jade eyes, but she didn't think it was wrong. They had no evidence of that anyway. She wasn't a saint, and she wouldn't obey the rules all the time. Moreover, no matter how cunning she was, she only did it because Liam and Marisha weren't good people, and they needed to be taught a lesson. Marisha didn't know what to say. Although she claimed that Ariana cheated, she didn't actually believe it. She knew a bit about stone gambling, and she understood how difficult it was to cheat. She only said that because she was reluctant to accept the result. Ariana turned to look at Liam. "What can you say now?" she asked him. "Fine," Liam muttered. He understood that he was doomed to fail, no matter how he argued with Ariana right now, because they had indeed reached an agreement. Therefore, he gave in. "Amir, this isn't over yet. I won't forget what has happened between us," Liam threatened before he left, fuming in anger. Even though Amir had Ariana's help now, Ariana didn't live in Boulder. Once she left, Liam would have a chance to pay his cousin back. At the moment, he didn't have a good opportunity to defeat him, so he had to be patient. Marisha was reluctant to accept the outcome, but she had to leave with Liam. Amir was worried that Liam would cause him trouble again, but he would cross that bridge when he got to it. At least he got to keep his ancestral house now. Once Liam and Marisha were gone, someone asked Ariana, "Miss, will you sell this?"
You are many things. A learner. A leader. You deserve a bespoke education. To be
Raw jade material? "Please wait until the jade is fully cut out," she responded. Since she said that, the man stopped asking. After that, Amir turned to Ariana and thanked her sincerely. "Miss, thank you so much for helping me keep my ancestral house. I have nothing valuable to give you as a gift, but if you need me in the future, I won't spare any effort to return your kindness. Although I'm in a difficult situation now, I'll do my best to get better," he told her. "Mr. Sadik, may I ask what your profession is?" asked Ariana. She had a good impression of Amir. If he had skills, she was willing to hire him. "My family has been involved in the raw jade material business for generations, but business hasn't been so good for me for the past couple of years. My cousin Liam is always sabotaging me," answered Amir. "Will you continue to work in the jade industry?" asked Ariana. Amir put on a wry smile and said resignedly, "I don't know. After all, I have nothing now. Liam won't stop causing me trouble. It'll be very hard for me to do business right now." "Do you want to do the business on your own, or are you willing to work for another company?" asked Ariana again. "It would be best if I could do the business on my own, but it's unrealistic. I'm involved in trouble now, so I don't know who would want to hire me," admitted Amir, having no idea what to do next. "If you plan to do the business on your own, we can cooperate, but I can't stop Liam from causing you trouble. I can only promise to provide you with goods. If you're willing to work for me, I can hire you, and I can protect you by stopping Liam from causing you trouble again. I only want you to be loyal and reliable. As for your future, it depends on your own abilities," said Ariana. Amir wasn't the only one who was surprised when he heard that. The onlookers couldn't help but feel jealous. Amir was so lucky today. He had help from a rich girl, and she even offered him a job. He felt guilty since he gained a lot without paying anything. Therefore, he decided to turn Ariana down. "Miss, I don't know what to say. I don't think I deserve this," and he began. However, before he finished, Ariana interrupted. "If you have other worries, they won't be a problem. I can help you, but if you're not willing to work for me, I won't force you." Although she wanted to hire him, she still needed his willingness. Amir suddenly had ancestral house back, but that woman even gave him 2 pieces of jade, which is probably worth over $10 million. Another person remarked in disbelief. Because the stone on the right wasn't fully cut out yet, and the stone in the middle just showed a little, nobody knew how much they were worth. However, it had to be at least $10 million. Therefore, everyone was jealous of Amir for getting so much money so easily. However, Amir honestly didn't think he could keep the 2 pieces of jade. Of course, he liked them, and part of him wanted them because they were free. If he sold them, he wouldn't need to work for years. Nevertheless, he had his own principles and felt that it was already enough that Ariana helped him get his ancestral house back. Either way, he wouldn't talk about it with onlookers. A while later, the jade was mostly chiseled out from the middle stone. Upon seeing its quality, the crowd got excited once more, because it was an old pit glass type with a high level. Even Amir was stunned. Everyone thought that there might just be middle or low-level jade, but unexpectedly, the jade was of high level. At this moment, someone asked Amir, "Mr. Sadik, are you willing to sell this jade?" Although Ariana told him that she would sell after the jade was fully cut out, she had given the jade to Amir, so they needed to ask him. If they bought it before it was fully cut out, they wouldn't need to pay a lot of money for it. But it was still risky, because no one knew how large the jade was. It might just be a thin layer, or very small. But if it was a whole piece, they could make a fortune. "Sorry, I won't sell it," responded Amir. He was going to return the jade to Ariana, so he wouldn't sell it. Several potential buyers were disappointed to hear that, but they couldn't force Amir to sell the jade. After the 2 pieces of jade were completely cut out, it was clear they were worth at least $30 million. "Mr. Sadik, are you sure you won't sell them? If you sell them, you can get a lot of money, and you'll be able to do what you want," someone said, trying to persuade Amir to sell the jade, because it was rare to get this type. "No," Amir declared with determination. In that case, the other people could do nothing about it, so Amir left with the jade. He was slightly afraid he would be targeted and robbed while carrying it with him, which was the last thing he wanted to happen. As a result, he decided to call Ariana after walking out of the store. Coincidentally, before he could call her, he saw her in the distance. At that moment, she and Henry were walking back to meet Colin. Without delay, Amir ran towards them. As he approached, he felt quite intimidated by Henry. It was clear that he wasn't an ordinary man. No matter who Henry was, it had nothing to do with Amir, so he tried not to think too much about it. "Miss Young," he called after Ariana. After she stopped, he continued, "I was looking for you. The jade is fully cut out of the stones, but I really can't take them. They're too expensive and are worth at least $30 million. You've already done me a big favor by helping me get my ancestral house back. I honestly have no idea how to return your kindness. I won't be able to sleep well at night if I keep your jade as well." The fact that he ran to return the jade to Ariana proved he was an upright man. "Mr. Sadik, let's talk as we walk together," Ariana replied, but she didn't take the jade from him. "All right," agreed Amir. He didn't know what Ariana was going to tell him, but he still listened to her. "Mr. Sadik, I enjoy helping other people when I can. Since I said the jade is yours, I decided to give it to you. If I want to, I can cut out jade anytime I want, and I already have a lot of jade. You've witnessed my abilities, right?" Ariana pointed out. Colin right away. He didn't stop Ariana from leaving. Afterwards, he went home. At 5:40 p.m., Ariana and Henry arrived at the restaurant where they would be meeting Colin. The appointed meeting time was 6 o'clock p.m., but Ariana wanted to come earlier. She also called Peter to join them, and he arrived before them. Colin wanted to be early for the dinner as well, so he arrived at 5:45 p.m. Miss Young, Mr. Martinez, and Mr. Worcester, sorry to keep you waiting, he said when he showed up. Whether they had waited for him or not, he had to have a good attitude. Don't worry about it. We just arrived. Mr. Hoover, please have a seat, Ariana answered. After that, Colin seated himself. When they finished ordering, the waiter left and Colin asked with concern, Miss Young, how is the case going? We haven't caught the thieves yet. They didn't come last night, but I'm sure that we're going to catch them once they come again, Ariana replied confidently. Colin didn't doubt her words at all. Great. I hope you can catch them as soon as possible and get your loss back. I'm really sorry that I can't help, he apologized. He sincerely wanted to help Ariana, so he felt a little guilty that he failed to do so. No need to feel guilty. You just got involved and haven't had much time to do an investigation. We haven't had any success yet either, Ariana pointed out, then said, all right, let's stop talking about that. It's tiring for us to waste too much time on it. We can discuss something else. Colin also realized that it was annoying if he talked about it too much, so he agreed. Sure, we can change the topic. Afterwards, they chatted about other things. After finishing the meal, Ariana, Henry, and Peter separated from Colin and went to the mining site. Liam was in a bad mood after losing the ancestral house to Amir, and hearing that Amir had 2 pieces of valuable jade now. Marisha had mixed emotions, because Amir was very rich all of a sudden. She originally left him for Liam because he had lost everything, but now she changed her mind after he became wealthy again. However, she had been married to Amir for many years, so she understood that he wouldn't accept her again. Therefore, she didn't really consider trying to win him back. Actually, she just wanted the house and jade. Liam, why don't we pay people to rob Amir? We don't need the Zadek family's ancestral house, but the 2 pieces of jade must be ours. After all, they're worth at least $30 million, Marisha proposed. Liam squinted his eyes, lost in thought, but ultimately, he didn't think it was a good idea. What if the person we hire runs away with the jade? Who can say no to jade that's worth at least $30 million? He pointed out. Marisha agreed he had a point, but was still unwilling to lose the jade. We can pay a reliable man to do it, she suggested. I don't think so. After all, the jade is extremely valuable. No matter how reliable the man is, he could still run away with the fortune. People nowadays are willing to do anything for money, sighed Liam. He wasn't talking about Marisha when he said that, but she immediately felt humiliated. She understood that Liam didn't mean it like that, however, so she couldn't say anything about it. Then what should we do? Do we have to sit back and watch as Amir gets so much money and becomes successful again? She asked reluctantly. Of course not, but we need to carefully think about it, Liam responded. He couldn't think of a good idea right away. Marisha didn't have any good ideas either, so they would have to do some more brainstorming. After arriving at the mining site, Ariana and Henry went further up the mountain to have a look once more. When there was no one around them, Ariana called Ivory back to her. Then she asked the sea monster about the situation during the day, but Ivory told her that nothing had happened. Ariana then asked Ivory to stay there, while she and Henry would stay in the office to see what clues they could find. Ivory agreed and then asked, Master, can you ask Flint to come out? I haven't seen him in a long time. It was rare to meet another sea monster, and they served the same masters now, so Ivory wanted to see Flint if it was possible. Before Ariana said anything, Henry directly led Flint different genders. They weren't human, they were sea monsters, so it sounded strange. What are you laughing at? Am I wrong? Flint argued. Nothing. All right, you can stay here, and we'll go down now. Ivory will explain the situation to you. If anyone comes, one of you can come down and report it to us at the nearby building. We'll come out if we sense anything, explained Ariana. Then she held Henry's hand and went down the mountain. After Ariana and Henry left, Ivory introduced the situation to Flint, so he learned what they needed to do right now. You can look around here, and I'll go over there, suggested Flint. No, Ivory refused at once. We haven't seen each other for so long. Why do we have to work separately? If I wanted that, why would I ask the master to let you out? Can't we work together? We can chat along the way. Fine, Flint agreed, because he didn't want to be rude. Ivory was talkative, often stayed aloof, but he didn't feel too bothered by her. Sometimes, he even replied to her comments. After Ariana and Henry went back to the office, they stayed inside and watched a TV show on the computer. The workers who were on duty next to the mining site were asked to leave because they weren't needed for the night. Finally, the three robbers showed up at about 2 o'clock a.m. Ivory and Flint noticed them right away. Actually, they weren't human. It was two men and a monster. Once they showed up, Ivory stayed to watch them, while Flint went down to report it to Ariana and Henry. He went close to the building that they were staying in, so that they could sense his presence. Because the three robbers were on the other side of the mountain right now, they were a long distance away. So Ariana and Henry didn't sense them yet. However, they learned about it after Flint came, and without delay, they went out. Flint promptly told them there were three robbers, two men and a monster. Ariana and Henry weren't surprised to hear there was a monster with them, because they had already considered that. They began to climb up the mountain with Flint. Then they met Ivory at the top. Ariana and Henry led the two sea monsters into their infinite spaces separately and waited patiently. They would wait until the thieves began to steal the raw jade materials so they could catch them in the act. After all, they needed evidence. Because both Ariana and Henry were at a high level, the monster didn't notice them. It was currently in its human shape, so Ariana and Henry didn't know what kind of monster it was, but they sensed its level, which was neither high nor low. It could turn into a human, so its level couldn't be too low. As the three robbers approached, one of them said, I heard that they called the police and the cops were involved, but they found nothing and left. It's impossible for them to find anything. The police nowadays are useless. They're paid to do nothing, another man replied disdainfully. You're right, but I have to say, there is a lot of jade in this mountain. There's jade in nearly every stone that we've stolen, the first man said. Right, but I think we better stop for a while after tonight. After all, it will take at least 5 years to dig all the raw materials out of this mountain. We can come and steal any time, the other man proposed. Sure, agreed his companion. Ariana and Henry quietly watched them walk to the place where they dug out the raw materials. They were surprised when they saw no guard. Why isn't there a guard today? Asked one of the men. Perhaps they know it's pointless, chuckled the other man. I think it might be a trap, said the monster. Do they think a trap can catch us? One of the men replied disdainfully. The two men didn't know that their third partner was a monster, but they were clearly aware of his abilities, and they weren't weak either. Right, agreed the monster. Because he was a monster, he had never met any humans who were stronger than him, so he believed that he couldn't be beaten. The thieves went to the area where the freshly mined raw materials were, and then filled their sacks. Right as they were about to leave with their loot, Ariana and Henry showed up and blocked their way. Although Ariana and Henry's sudden appearance startled the two men, they weren't afraid. They didn't feel it was too dangerous, even though they could see that Ariana and Henry weren't weak. However, the monster sensed great danger. Ariana coldly stared at them as she accused. Oh, you're the thieves who have stolen a lot of jade from us, right? I finally caught you. How dare you steal my stuff? Do you want to be put in jail? So what? Catch us if you want, shouted one of the men. He didn't take Ariana and Henry seriously at all. He and his companions were good fighters. Plus, there were three of them, and their third partner was unusually strong. astonished to hear their partner give in so easily. Although Henry seemed stronger than they expected, they didn't think the third man should be so scared. Besides, they hadn't even fought yet. It was too early to know who would win. Why did the third man give up right away? Thinking of that, the two men were annoyed with the third man, especially when he promised to return the stolen water jade materials.